Hi everyone, welcome back to the art class. Today, under the topic Know an Artist, I am introducing you to an artist known as Frida Kahlo. Frida Kahlo was a Mexican painter known for her many portraits, self portraits, and works inspired by the nature and artifacts of Mexico. Inspired by the country's popular culture, she employed a new folk art style to explore questions of identity, post-colonialism, gender, class, and race in Mexican society. Frida Kahlo was born in Mexico in the year 1907 and she passed away in the year 1954 at the age of 47. Frida Kahlo began painting in 1925 after a bus accident left her bedridden for several months. Throughout her short life, she experienced immense physical and emotional pain, not only because of the accident, but also because of what she often referred to as her second accident, her husband Diego Rivera. Her political beliefs, culture heritage, and sufferings featured throughout her artworks. When engaging with Kahlo's work, it became obvious to onlookers they were experiencing her painted autobiography. Pieces such as Self-Portrait, which was made in 1948, Henry Ford Hospital, 1932, My Dress Hangs Here, 1933, and The Two Fridas, 1939, are all significant works that commemorate events and emotions felt by Kahlo and represent the autobiographical nature of her work. Frida had not intended to become an artist. As a child, she had dreamt of becoming a doctor. However, in 1925, as the result of the horrific bus accident, Kahlo's spinal column was broken in 3 places along with her collarbone, 2 ribs, right leg and foot. As a result of the accident, Kahlo was encased in a plaster cast, which confined her to bed for several months. The boredom of her restriction was the catalyst for her art. Her mother had a special easel built to fill around her bed, which allowed her to paint laying down. She began painting the only subjects available to her in her confinement. Her friends, family, and herself was her subject. While Kahlo began painting to combat boredom, it soon became an outlet she relied on to enable her to express her beliefs and feelings. Kahlo explained that her paintings were predominantly self-portrait because she was so often alone and in addition was quoted as having said, "I am the person I know best." Particularly her self-portrait were clever and skillful depiction that simultaneously mask and reveal her unbearable pain of the body and spirit. Her paintings vividly represented her personal crisis. This is particularly true for her self-portrait, which is made in 1948, in which she is wearing a Tijuana headdress. The headdress can be seen as a plea for Rivera's love, but she appears too overdressed. The finery is a mask. The lace is jaggy, stiff, and closed in, making her appear trapped in the space. The 3 tears staining her cheek could represent the years of pain caused by her longing for Rivera's love, particularly on the occasion he strayed, relying on her mirror for comfort and companionship of her alternate self. Kahlo became a voyeur of her own grief, painting the griever and the observer. Kahlo's inability to have children was perhaps the most distressing of her personal crises and was therefore depicted in several of her works, along with the observed theme of fertility. While Kahlo often used her painting to externalize both her physical and emotional pain, she also depicted her political alliance and her Mexican heritage. Her paintings and social political engagements were both of great importance for Kahlo. Since a youth, she was continuously politically conscious and involved at various levels in leftist issues. Kahlo's distaste of capitalism is highlighted in My Dress Hangs Here of 1933, in which she depicts the leftist view of Manhattan, the center of capitalism. In the top center of the painting stands Federal Hall, Kahlo's symbol of capitalism. The building is linked to Gothic church via red ribbon, suggesting of a vital vein or artery. In the window of the church, a red S transforms the crucifix into a dollar sign. Alongside the church is another representation of false values, a billboard of Mae West who conjures up connotations of vanity and luxury. To the artist, her appeal is ephemeral. The edge of the billboards are peeling and the buildings below her are burning. The steps of the Federal Hall are presided over by a statue of George Washington, a representation of idealism of the past. Instead of the set of marble stairs, Kahlo has pasted a graph showing weekly sales in millions. In 1939, Kahlo and Rivera were divorced. In a letter to friend Nicholas Murray, Kahlo wrote, "I feel so rotten and lonely that it seems to be that nobody in the world has suffered the way I do." Kahlo began painting vigorously during the divorce period to express her inner pain. Apparent obsession with and bitter delight in pain and dejection seen in her painting, The Two Fridas. Kahlo admitted to a close friend that the two Fridas recorded her unhappiness of being separated from Rivera. In the painting, the two Fridas sit side by side clasping hands. On the left, Frida is depicted wearing European clothing, the Frida Rivera did not love. While on the right, she is adorned in a Tijuana skirt and blouse, representing the Frida Rivera did love. Each suggests Kahlo's dual heritage. Both hearts are exposed using the same little device to show her pain in love as used in other works such as Memory. However, the heart of the loved Frida is whole, whereas the lace bodies of the other is torn to reveal the broken heart. The stronger Tijuana Frida is holding a miniature picture of Diego Rivera as a boy, which represents her lost husband. Exiting from its frame is a red vein that loops around her arm through her heart and connects to across the other Frida's heart, and eventually the unloved Frida attempts to stem the flow of blood with a pair of surgical pincers. The flow cannot be stopped, however, and the blood spills onto her skirt. Some of the flower on the hem of the skirt have been replaced by the splatters of blood. The red blood contrasts on the white skirt is reminiscent of the Henry Ford Hospital scene and evokes memory of miscarriage and countless surgeries. Both faces remain calm and impressive. Both are testaments of Kahlo's strength and a pious depiction that could serve to confront Kahlo through the period of turmoil. In conclusion, Frida Kahlo's art is autobiographical in nature. She painted to express and externalize her inner pain in a way that would allow her to distance herself from it. Her pain is evident in many of her works, in particular Henry Ford Hospital, The Broken Column, and several of other works, several of her self-portraits. Not only does Kahlo depicts her pain, but she expresses her I will upload that also in WhatsApp, so you can keep reference of those pictures and complete the work.